pause for a sec?
Hello.
Okay.
We are back for our final journal entry of the Cogitations on Computations class, due Friday the 3rd. So I think we'll start out by talking a little bit about like our game, because we're doing the game together, and then move on to some general reflections of the class. Okay, cool. So I guess really quick, what we've been doing over the past couple of weeks has mostly been lab sections. It's been interesting. I think for us, we kind of, or at least for me, I think we made our way pretty easily through like the generating the coin flip, and then like being able to get results that are like actually random and correspond to like moving towards a 50-50 split. But we have more difficulty like storing the information. We didn't know really exactly how to figure out the arrays so that it was like
I'm still not very familiar with the console part of CodePen. I'm a little.
Yeah, I think that
we kind of like a workshop, I guess, and like you could experiment with it, but also it shows your stored variables.
Yeah, I think we felt pretty comfortable with Python and the way that's structured, and my mind kind of started thinking that way when we were coding. So coming back to JavaScript's been a little tough, and also like the relationship between like the HTML and the CSS, which we use a little bit of HTML.
One of the things that I really liked was how we our prompt command is like a whole separate window.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. That just felt a lot more real in terms of like real life coding.
That was definitely good. I think like we had to figure out how to get it because we had the event listener, but we wanted to like put the variable from our JavaScript into our HTML, so we had to do a little like online research on how to do that. But generally, I think it's been good. Like we're kind of getting back in the flow of JavaScript, and it's coming back to that thing you were talking about at the beginning of the year, like about kind of bilingual aspect to coding, where you understand kind of what's going on behind the scenes. And just how to get that to play out in different ways. Like the arrays, data sets a little different from Python to here, but now that we've got our arrays in JavaScript, we're kind of seeing the similarities between what we did in our Python, and we're hoping to be able to apply that to our graphics project as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun that we're finally combining the graphic side of coding with the more functional side of coding, and I definitely think it's going to be a challenge. We haven't really gotten too far into it yet. One thing I still haven't really figured out how to like make it work is if we're doing a histogram obviously, but we're gonna have to limit the range of input, how many times the back and flip, otherwise we're just gonna be able to account for scale. Yeah, and then I guess it'll just be more a matter of instead of showing like we don't want to just get higher every time we have a flip, it's gonna have to be proportioned. So we'll take a number of coins that have flipped 40 to 50% of the time heads, divided by the total amount. So we're going to have, that like change and hopefully that convergence on the mean. Yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities. Anything else from this week?
I mean, it's interesting. Like the AI stuff has been interesting looking at other people's projects.
Yeah.
Like we got a chance to look at Riley and Deshaun's code briefly, which is pretty cool. And kind of the way their graphics are coming in. Yeah. And it makes you think about like the relationship between things like AI and mathematics, stuff like that, obviously too.
Right. And I don't know, it's so wild that like when in the age of discovery when people were figuring out all the math equations, if they'd had a computer to simulate everything, they would have had every equation in like a week.
That's true.
That's kind of wild that the computer could just do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, whoever first calculated pi was an absurd long, probably took them all their life.
Yeah.
And now it's like, type in the number 100 in my computer.
It's like more
does it to 4 digits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, so that's been interesting. And then I guess we can do a little general reflection on the year. So
we're gonna just talk about the year as a whole, I guess. I honestly really enjoyed this class because it kind of felt non-traditional in terms of class style. There wasn't like here's what you're learning and this is the timeline of exactly what we're gonna learn. It felt a lot more like just kind of like what do you guys want to do, and like it wasn't really like we're learning a huge sum of knowledge. It was more like we're going to learn a little bit here, a little bit there. And I thought that was really cool because even if we did just like one semester of JavaScript, we'd probably be pretty decent at JavaScript by then, but still like nothing compared to like a computer science major, and we still don't have that
well-rounded.
Right, and now it's like you got to kind of see how everything works, and it really like piqued my interest in some areas. And even though we're not really experts in any of the Python, Java, CodePen, I still feel like I could probably go in. Do the rudimentary parts of it, which is good to have.
I mean, it gave me an appreciation for like the point of this isn't so we can go make our own programs. I mean, if we want to pursue that, we have that option, but also it's just more to understand the processes behind computing.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of ties into one future direction for me, which is now that I feel comfortable with like the way that humans are interacting with like code on our user interface end, like how the computer is reading code, how that goes through it, sort of another side that if I get a chance, I'd really like to learn a little more about.
Yeah, it's tough because like I don't know, especially I don't know, I'm double majoring. It's hard to take a lot of
Right.
classes that you're just kind of interested in. You know what I mean? So I would love to do more with coding.
Yeah,
I don't know that I'll get the chance to.
Yeah, it was a nice little break, kind of
Yeah,
independently of that allowed us to dive
I'm
into
glad
it
that
more.
it's a core credit, but also it seems like an elective sort of in that it's kind of a little more relaxed.
Mhm,
Not
for
I
sure.
didn't feel any intense pressure in this class. Which
Yeah,
was nice.
I think that another cool thing was it wasn't like a structure where we come to class, we learn a new JavaScript command, and then we go do it. It was more so based on what kind of interests you. Okay, if you want to make your picture do like have rain behind it, like mine did, that's one thing. If you want to have your picture be animated, that's like whatever. If you click down, so it was interesting. And also, I think that it's really developed. Like one of the things about coding is you can be as great a coder as ever, but even like some of my friends who are programmers, CS majors, whenever they're coding, they're still Googling things or looking up video tutorials. So kind of getting that skill set of saying, all right, I don't know how to do this, so I'm going to go use my resources. I'm going to go online, I'm going to search it up, I'm going to ask my friends for help, I'm going to do whatever. Like all those things are a part of like the coding process.
And I kind of already had an idea of this, but what I really realized with the class is that it's not really like math or like science where like all the stuff that you're going to learn is kind of like there.
Yeah.
Like computer science is constantly evolving, and I mean they could drop a new language tomorrow and it's suddenly better than everything we've got, and everyone has to relearn it. And I think that's kind of cool that there's never really a cap to what you can accomplish with it.
Yeah, and then one of my hesitations coming into the class was I didn't know how interested I was in like the technical aspect of coding. But one thing I've really gotten appreciation for in coding is that the difficult part and the part that makes it interesting isn't like figuring out what you have to type to get the computer to like print a number. The part is, okay, how do you envision an idea where with the tools you have your toolbox and you implement that to create something that works and serves your purpose.
Yeah.
So that's like a skill set that's not, because obviously just learning the commands of codes of like certain coding outputs, you can apply those when you're coding, but not much else.
Yeah.
But having that like dynamic ability to look at a problem and say, that like hacking mindset and say, I have a couple different solutions, here's how I could do it one way, I could kind of backdoor it here. It's helpful.
What I think is cool is that it's so kind of up for interpretation. I mean, I think there's 4 groups doing the dice flip, and I guarantee none of them are even going to have remotely similar code, which I think is really awesome because it's a lot of room for individuality. Whereas like with math, it's just like here's your formula. You have to do it this way. If you don't do it this way, it's wrong.
Right.
So I really like how like it's kind of you do you, whatever you're most comfortable with. I don't know, I reminded of the first project we had, like the drawing, and like I really loved, big fan of ellipses, big ellipse guy myself.
Sure,
And I didn't really like the arcs, so I just used all ellipses. But then other people use arcs like the exact same.
Right.
And just like kind of do what fits your style best.
Yeah. So I think, and like obviously as a business major, it's also, I've mentioned this in a couple of my journals, but it's cool to have a look behind the scenes and like when you're doing something like modeling, you're just typing numbers into a box and you're pressing a command that says multiply. But like what's going on behind the scenes now, I have an idea of that and I can manipulate that and like use it to my advantage and alter it and just kind of have a better understanding of it going into future classes. And I think that AI, not even just AI, but technology and IT is such an important part of so many different jobs now. Like even I was talking to I'm doing a marketing internship this summer, and I was talking to the girl, and she said a big part of what we're doing is like big data, and it's interacting with that aspect of like computer sciences. So having this experience is really helpful.
Like I don't know, there's just more and more data in the world every day.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much more in our systems, and one thing I'm really interested in is how that like it takes the coding can take big amounts of numbers and kind of get a conclusion from it, similar to what we're doing with our projects now.
Yeah, even in my stats class, we're using like things like regression analysis, tests, that is all coming down to computing. So, any future directions before we sign off here?
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think I'd like to pursue, like I said, some more coding in the future, just because I feel like there's very few jobs that aren't going to have any sort of technology in them, and even if you're not working with it, it's kind of cool just to understand what's happening.
Totally, yeah. Similar for me, and it really interacts with my field as well. So, thank you very much for the class. It was a ton of fun. Hopefully, we'll have a good final product to turn in.
We'll see you next year in research methods.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Thank you, Donnie. Signing off.